Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's both an honor and a pleasure to be here. On behalf of Aon, I'd like to thank RAI for helping and extending their patronage to the study, which is retail resetting its rewards norms. We embarked on this journey about 6 to 8 weeks back to understand how retail is changing its face from a rewards management perspective in this absolutely dynamic environment. RAI helped us reach out to organizations across the fraternity to gather this information where we could see and find out what the new norms for rewards management in India is looking like. The report that we are going to unveil is going to talk about insights on productivity, it's going to talk about insights on wage bill management, on attrition, on promotions, around how e-commerce is impacting the industry. But before we start and before we unveil the report, there are 3 key things, notable insights that I would like to bring up. First and foremost, and I'm sure it's not a surprise anywhere in this room, the amount of focus organizations today are putting on combining business productivity to compensation positioning is paramount. This was possibly unheard of, 4 or 5 or 6 years back, but with wafer-thin margins, the amount of scrutiny wage bills are going through these days, it has become extremely important that HR is looking at business productivity and compensation positioning hand to hand. A linked theme that came out was on rewards payout. So about 4 or 5 or 6 years back, retail, very similar to India, had a very socialistic view around looking at compensation. I will give out mediocre rewards pretty much to everyone, and really the differentiation wasn't coming through. What this report threw out insights on, that those days are possibly behind our back. With limited kitty in our hands, what firms today are doing is they are giving out mediocre increases to my average performer. However, the differentiation really is coming through for my top guys. And this differentiation is actually as high as 1.6 to 1.7 times on fixed pay. Not just that, the differentiation on variable pay is also coming through very clearly. So clearly the thought that's coming out is that higher you perform, the higher the performance is, the higher the payout is going to be. If you are at a meets expectation level, the organization is not ready to give you any extraordinary payouts for that. Another linked thought that came through was on attrition. So it's not a surprise. Everyone in the room pretty much know that very similar to life insurance, retail is another such industry where attrition is a big problem, and especially at the front line. We're talking about 50 to 60 to even 70% attrition rates. What firms today are doing is that yes, attrition is a problem for me, and yes, I will invest in controlling it and as much as possible. But what is becoming more key for me here is that how am I going to contain my key talent attrition? So my high performer, my high potential, and roles which we think are difficult to be replaced. How am I going to put my efforts as well as energy and the budgets in retaining them? So these are the 3 key thoughts that came out. The report is going to talk about all of that in detail. I will now request Lawrence, if he can come and unveil the report now.
Ladies and